Luck is what happens when opportunity and preparedness meet. See, it's not about, I just want to be lucky. The harder you work, the luckier you get. So work hard at your business. Work hard at self-development. Work hard at defining your systems. Work hard at becoming a better leader. Then you'll get lucky. Simple as that. How old are you going to be before you start to experience life like you want it? I want to tell you right now, whether you like it or not, there is a better way to do business. Hi everyone, welcome to the Business for Builders podcast. You're with Max. I'm your host, the CEO at Smith & Sons here in Canada, the Great White North, which is about to get all much colder and much whiter. I'm surprised we haven't got snow already. Nice to have you in the house. If you're a first-time listener or viewer, I appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you will get some value out of the next, I was going to say 15 minutes, but everybody knows that's bullshit. It's not going to be 15. It's going to be closer to 30. So hopefully you can do this in a couple of stints or stages, but maybe you're on the road and you've got 20 or 30 minutes just to have a chat with me. So, if you're a first-time listener or viewer, I appreciate you stopping by. And if you're a long-term listener, I appreciate you hanging in there. And I'm really happy to assume, because I don't know you exactly, but I'm really happy that you are hanging in with us and obviously getting some value. So that's great. A little bit of housekeeping, like and subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Tick the bell. One of these drop every week. And don't forget to shoot across to Business for Builders VIP Facebook group. Obviously, we have a Business for Builders Facebook page, but the VIP group is very specifically designed to create a community of those in construction. And I'm talking from your first year apprentice, your subcontractor, and your builder or general contractor. And so, please don't dive into that, and hit the join button and, not really be in the construction game and maybe have a different agenda because I will catch you out. But if you're a good sort and you're in the game, would love to let you in there and have a chat with some folks in there as well. And don't forget, a couple of months ago, we launched elitebusinessadvisory.com. Feel free to visit that. That's my business coaching business. So if you are searching for a source and a service that's going to help you build a kick-ass business, then I would love to maybe spend 30 minutes with you and just chat about some strategy, talk about what you're doing in your business. So get across to elitebusinessadvisory.com, hit the book a consultation button, and it'll give you access to my calendar, and you can book a time there to catch up with me, which would be awesome. Last week or so, we've had folks from the UK, we've had folks from Australia, we've had in the past, we've got the Kiwis kicking in there, and certainly the guys in the UK, and maybe one from Ireland as well. So that was pretty fun. They've got some people in Canada reckon I've got an accent, but geez Louise, Mr. Irishman, he had a hell of an accent. That took a lot of work for me to get my ears around that, let me tell you. Okay, anyway, another funny story. So that's all the housekeeping, pretty much. Funny story. I was chatting with, so we're recording this on a Monday night because it's what we do. We love it. And, I was talking to one of my clients to be, and who's going to kick off in about a week's time with me. And it was funny because we'd have some conversation and, anyone that's outside of Canada, I talk on, WhatsApp. Mind you, if you're in the States, we get a phone call going, but for the most part, we talk on WhatsApp. Anyway, I got an email from one of my prospective clients, let's say, anyway, I thought, oh no, that's right. And then he called me and I missed his call and I called him back, and it was a few hours later. It was on a Sunday afternoon. And he said, oh, it's the weirdest thing. I was just listening to your podcast when you called. And so here is one of our treasured audience members, soon to be an elite business client. And it was funny because I'd got him on WhatsApp and he was in the middle of listening to one of the podcasts. So that was a funny story. Big shout out to Mitch there in Sydney. We've got a few folks in Sydney in the elite business group. So things are going tremendous. Right. As usual, going to bring some value, steak and potatoes, and let's see if we can knock it out the park. I've had one of those days, I'll be honest with you. And, this is what I did this up. I mean, I did a bunch of stuff today, had a 4:00 meeting with another elite business client, and then I had to shoot to my son's high school for a football banquet where he picked up a couple of awards, an All-Star Award and an MVP award. And then I've shot home to do this podcast. But really what I was thinking about after today in the events, I'm always looking at this whole statistic around why do 50% of builders fail? Like, that is an industry standard. That is not some shit that I made up. And out of that 50%, 10 years later, within 10 years, 90% of those guys fail. So we've got this this recurring failure routine with new blood coming in, like I once was. I'm not that now because I'm old. But, it's just like the next round of guys coming through. Now, I'm 50, right? So if you did what I did, you finished your apprenticeship when you were 20. I spent a couple of years just still working, under my boss and whatnot, but I was pretty keen to get out and do my own thing. But you go out there blissfully unaware of the bullshit that you're going to run into, and you just automatically think, because I've got my freaking carpentry joinery license, I'm going to make money. Well, it doesn't happen that way, unfortunately. Some of them may do okay. But I'm telling you, the guys that are really wanting to kick ass and take names, unfortunately, the failure rate is way, way, way too much. I was talking to my old man tonight, and I just said, Dad, this is more than just, giving back to feel good, and working, helping builders develop high-performance businesses to make money. It's a friggin' mission. It's like for every 100 guys that get their builder's license, 50 of them are going to go broke or quit the business. So there's got to be something happening and to fill a gap. And I know there's other good coaching companies and, people that I know personally that really are hell-bent on changing that statistic as well. And I really want to be an agent of change. And so anyway, through all of that, I got thinking about, I said, what is it? What is it? What is the thing? And so hopefully you sit on the edge of your seat right now. He's like, bloody get on with it, Max. It's like, how does honest self-awareness contribute to our business success as a general contractor? And it's guys and girls. I see enough now. I've seen enough in a short amount of time outside of my bubble, my Smith & Sons bubble, to understand that it's not just like, well, because you were Smith & Sons, you're immune or, challenge is irrelevant or whatever. It is not. It really, because we are still playing in the same marketplace. We're trying to, develop a business model that is going to enhance or improve your chances of success. However, this is where it comes down to it, because you've got to be self-aware. I get tired of preaching at, now, obviously I'm only talking to, a dozen or so individuals, but I get tired of watching what's happening in the marketplace and looking at the performance and hearing from clients and then having the builder going, it's the bloody clients, mate. Well, I know that there's two sides to a story. However, when there's a level of consistency in the bad behavior, let's say, or the bad business operative or operations, what is it? And I tell you, I got into some pretty heated discussions recently, and it's like, mate, it's not all the client. When you go right back to the start, I've never had a bad, confrontational, argumentative meeting with a client on the first meeting. Like, let's think about that. Everyone's all optimistic. Great to meet you. Like, tell me what you love and hate about your home. What do you want to do for a reno? Like, it's all, yah, rah, and happy days. And then why is it halfway through the building project, all of a sudden you've got builder versus client? Like, what's happened? See, guys, this is why I'm saying, I've got 8 points here, right? I'm going to skim through them really quick and just bring them to your attention. And I want you to think about them, because I need you to pick up on the fact that your level of self-awareness is the difference between excellent business operations and a shithouse failing business, right? And I just got to listen to your talk, and you'll be going, oh yeah, it's the industry, mate. Yeah, it's the leads. They're bad leads, mate. They're bad leads. Yeah, no. It's so sad. It's so sad. I just, if you end up on my radar playing with me and you come to me and go, I've just got all bad leads, I will punch you in the mouth, because that's why the conversion rate that we kind of lean on is about the 20% lead to project or lead to contract, okay? So that means 4 out of 5 leads, I agree, are going to be less than preferable. So I just need you to get a grip of that. Now, obviously, we've got metrics where we look at lead to estimate, and then estimate to job as well. And then, of course, just your lead to project contracts. But I just need, this is where it just annoys me, and now it makes me laugh because, stupid is, stupid does. So, and am I going to cop some shit for this little rant? Probably, okay? But at the end of the day, I just want you to go and think about it, right? This is a buffet, okay? Knowledge is not hard to carry around. Just have a listen. And if you think I'm full of bullshit, then just smile and wave and move on. But if you really think deeply about what's going on, people don't know what they don't know. And so if you don't know what you don't know, then you need to have somebody close to you that can give you the honest to God truth. Like there's probably people around my life that nudges my missus and get, someone's got to tell him. Right, like that situation where you like hanging out at a party and you've been picking your nose before the party and you got a booger hanging out of your nose and nobody tells you. Like, you just want someone to tell you to friggin' fix your shit up. I think that's a wild and crazy friggin' analogy. But what I'm telling you is sometimes someone needs to deliver to you and me the God-honest truth so that we can correct our behavior. So when we want people that behave the right way in the right seat within our business, we are the business owners, and sometimes we're not behaving the right way. And I'm the first to know, yes, I've got an aggressive personality, and I'm nicknamed in the coaching world already as through the front door freight train Max, because I get cracking, and so I just want to make it happen. But the flip side of me is I don't want to be unconsciously incompetent. I don't want to be running around thinking everything's cool when it's bloody well not. And so, this is where, honest to God, honest self-awareness is something that we all need to work on, okay? So promise me that I don't need you to go and overcome this in one day. I just want to put a stone in your shoe, start thinking about, and this is a good point, like I do, I think about the failures in my life, in my business life, let's say, and I think, what did I do, and maybe what could I have done better? And that's where you're moving from unconscious incompetence to more conscious incompetence. You understand what you cocked up and what you did wrong. So, and then you've got to exercise. Like, I got to try and figure out ways to handle myself better, because I am a little bit friggin' radical and I don't mind getting up in your grill. And, I think that's, I don't know. It's definitely not. It's just my signature. It's my style, guys. There's other ways to do it. But honest to God, self-awareness is what we all need. So let me run through 8 points. How does honest self-awareness contribute to your business success as a general contractor? Let's go. Number 1, accurate decision-making. I have sat with one guy in particular who will remain nameless forever and ever and eternity. And I freaking told him, you need to cull some overhead right now. Right now. I've looked at your 4 months first for the month, for the year. I've looked at your last year's figures, like low single digits net profit. I said, you've got way too much staff. You need to get rid of that. And I got, Max, you don't understand. See, bad decision. That's a bad decision, right? So accurate decision-making is a byproduct of honest self-awareness. Point number 1. Point number 2, effective communication. Okay, so how does honest self-awareness contribute to business success? We use effective communication, okay? And so effective communication isn't having an intense conversation with someone on the phone and yelling at them and then hanging up on them. That is not effective communication. And when you realize that only dead shits will do that, then you'll figure out that, okay, there must be a better way. And doing that, and you think that's okay, that's called unconscious incompetence. You are being incompetent and you don't even realize it, okay? The other thing, part of effective communication is we've got to learn to communicate on not just a verbal manner, okay? So yes, we have to have a very positive demeanor, right? So as much as the demeanor on our phone counts, our demeanor when we're dealing with clients. Now, I know I don't know, 6'2" and 255 pounds, which I don't know how many kilos that is, but it's got to be like 117, 118 freaking kilos or whatever it is. And when I go out, when I used to do more of this and I would go and visit clients, I would be very conscious that of my stature compared to maybe a housewife or a lady, if I was to stand front on with her, that would be a little intimidating. And if you're watching this on YouTube, if you were the client, I have a tendency to turn sideways and just kind of, like write on my notes or fold my arms or, hands on the hips or whatever the case is. But if I turn front onto you and, you're 5'8", right, and 110 pounds wringing wet, like I don't want you to feel like I'm talking down to you. So there's a level of communication, which is really a body language thing. Now, the other thing is too, I'm always nodding and in agreement and, being an active listener. That's super important. And that is a process of communication as well. If I ever get into any intense situations, I would always want to make sure that I'm solution oriented. Now, do I get emotional and worked up and go a bit batshit crazy sometimes? Occasionally. I'm human. I'm just a guy that spent 30-something years in this building industry. But I'm always, I come away from some situations going, boy, you handled that really badly. It's a fact. And so, just because I'm on screen, it doesn't make me any more perfect than you, dude or dudette. It's a massive challenge. And this is the grind and the struggle that goes into developing a business, right? And this is a bit of I wouldn't say this is a pet hate. I quite enjoy this subject matter. And a lot of it is around because my development process, I'm a work in progress as well. It's like every day I learn something new. Every day I seem to learn something where I've really done badly, where I need to improve. I'm just another one of the community of general contractors and builders around the world, trying not to be one of the failures that is on the statistics board, and so effective communication is probably one of the most important levels of self-awareness. You need to understand that eye contact is important. If you are not making eye contact, you are coming across as untrustworthy. Like you're hiding something. They say that the windows are eyes to the soul. Okay, I can see into you. But it just does something to the client subconsciously when you can look them in the eye and not be arrogant, just be confident. Confidence and humility in equal measures is okay. It's acceptable. We play a better game when we're confident, folks. So let's be confident, but let's leave the ego. Let's get rid of the ego altogether, okay? Super important. So look, effective communication, I think that's something that we'll all work on until the day that we check out, because I just think that there's different scenarios. We meet different people. We have different responsibilities to certain people. The types of people that we're responsible to, or answerable to or accountable to are very different as well, different personalities. And so we've got to be very flexible, and we've got to be able to adapt depending on where we find ourselves as far as effective communication. But it has it's part of the honest self-awareness program that we all need to be running. Right. Point number 3, continuous improvement. That's what honest self-awareness will do for you. You go, okay, I need to look at my gaps. And so when I sit down with builders, we've got 21 silver bullets. And, we outline between going from the creation stage to the chaos stage, to the control stage, to the prosperity stage. So we take builders, we want to move them from the creation stage, which is exciting, to the chaos stage, which we inevitably get stuck in for a little bit, to the control stage, then to the prosperity stage, and then to the freedom stage. And that's a few years from now for most of you guys and gals, but there's a few guys out there that are going, look, I want to get out and go travel. And I had some buddies come back from Mexico and they're all tanned and drinking all kinds of, adult alcoholic beverages and stuff, like having a good time. So we really do want to understand that, what we know, the human that I am right now is not the human I need to be, clearly, to run a $20 million franchise organization. Okay. I've got a lot of work to do. But the thing is, with the amount of challenge that we go through, you can do one or two things. You can grab the old victim card and you can blame this and blame that. Or you can go, actually, you know what? Unfortunate that shit happen. And I've had some unfortunate shit happen this year. Like, absolutely. Last 2 years, right? But at the end of the day, if I sit in that valley of despair and I whine and complain about how my life sucks and how it's not fair, as much as that would make me a little bit happier in the short term, I know I can't live here. Okay, so I can sit for a moment, lick my wounds, have a little bit of a bitch about, where I'm up to. But then I'm telling you, on Monday morning, I know what I've got to do. I just got to get on with it. I've got no choice. And I've got to fix bayonets and do the best that I can do. Can understand what I can control and recognize what I can't control, separate the two, and then focus all your effort on what you can control. So continuous improvement says that it's continuous. I know it's stating the obvious a little bit, but it's like never get comfortable. If you get comfortable, understand your business will flatten out, and if you're not busy living, you're probably busy dying. So your business eventually will come redundant because you've got to be excited about what you're doing. Business owners love the challenge. And, I talked about Mount Everest, and I'm not going to go deep on Mount Everest again, but I'm telling you, why they climb Mount Everest and all these other friggin' 8,000 meter plus peaks? Because they're there. Isn't that just the most retarded thing? Leave a comment if you're a friggin' mountain climber, because I want to get you on the podcast because I think you're all mad. But, it's not what I would do for fun. But anyway, there's a level of improvement, and I'm telling you, some of these people, the ones that are the most successful are always open to how do we improve? How do we do it better next time? But I'm telling you, there's people with positive attitudes that are on the mountain. Go and Google green boots, Mount Everest. That guy was a positive guy when he was at the bottom of the mountain, and he didn't make it, unfortunately. Run out of oxygen, come back down, apparently. Continuous improvement. Right. Here's a big one. Right. How does honest self-awareness contribute to business success? Client relationships. Dudes and dudettes. Seriously, I understand that clients, even the ones that we qualified that we thought were okay, some of those slip through and become very difficult to deal with. But this is where self-awareness kicks in. I want you to ask, think about your top shelf dickhead client right now, and I want you to have an honest think. I'm asking you to be self-aware. What is it that you did to piss them off or to trigger them into what was a good client at one point to someone who you just can't stand anymore? I understand that there's certain circumstances where you are justified. I'm not saying that. I am just pressing my finger into the pain point a little bit and asking you to be honest with yourself. There is absolutely no judgment, okay? I have recruited my fair share of the wrong type of client or person or whatever. Like, dude, I could tell you stories to turn your hair green. So the deal is like out of that failure, remember I said last time, I fail forward and I'm a good student of the pain. I persevere and I persist because it will, if I don't give up, this bloody industry will reveal its secrets to me, okay? That's my attitude, all right? And I'm telling you, you don't get in the ring, you don't get in that UFC octagon and walk out with a belt with no friggin' scars or not bleeding. So guys and girls, I guess what this is about, I want you to understand the trials and tribulations that you're going to experience and brace for impact. I want you to prepare. Luck is what happens when preparedness and then opportunity meet. So this is the encouragement that I want to give you. If you're in the valley of despair and you think, mate, I'm just eating shit left, right, and center, I know how you feel, okay? But there's some lessons that can be learnt, and you can spend the time preparing as you go through the shit to be ready so that when an opportunity presents itself, you can take full advantage of that. Resistance builds muscle mass. Cry your tears at night, and then in the morning, give your life partner a hug and a kiss, pull your big boy trousers on, and get after it again. And today, be better than you were yesterday. Always be open and honest with yourself. I value open and honest communication with my team. I value that. okay? Sometimes we've got to be open and honest with ourselves. You know, you know what? Here's a bit of a side note, a bit of a digression, a bit of a pivot. You know, guys and girls, like, please, a part of this self-awareness program that I'm pushing on you today is honest to God. You might be a great second in command. The number 6 at Facebook is absolutely dominating financially. I don't know what he or she is making. I don't know who he or she is, but he or she is doing quite well for themselves, okay? So sometimes we get romantically swept up in the horseshit that we see on social media, some of which is what I might have delivered, I'm sorry. And you might have get carried away and thought, well, I can be successful. Well, that honest self-awareness, and I know we're getting away from client relationships, but that honest self-awareness is certainly a place where you need to recognize where your skill set is and where you love to exist, because if you are a business owner, it's very, very lonely. And so effective client relationships, you've really, if you are honest with yourself, then and someone says to you, hey, the reason why your client relationships are suffering is because you have a negative demeanor when you're under pressure and you don't pay attention to detail. But how else will you know that if someone's not watching you or listening to your stories and is able to give you candid or kind candor, be very candorous with you about, mate, you don't give eye contact and your persona is very grumpy and you don't communicate well. And the clients are doing that because you don't pay attention to the detail and you're like a bull in a china shop and you don't finish anything. So this is why it's like, what I love about being a business coach is that I don't sit here in seat of judgment, because I am telling you folks, there's probably not many people that are watching this right now that have cocked it up more than I have, okay? So hear me. It's not from a seat of judgment that I'm talking to you about it. It's from experience, knowing full well that in retrospect, there's a whole bunch of things that I could have done better that unfortunately no one was really close to me to be able to tell me that. Or did I not I did not allow them to speak to me because I knew better. See? I've seen a lot. I haven't seen it all, but I've seen enough. Okay, here's another one. Here's another beauty. Honest self-awareness will contribute to better conflict resolution, okay? I told you about that. I put my finger in that pain point, and that operator told me that I didn't understand, that he couldn't do that, and then 5 months later, all of his team was gone. So it's like, mate, you just spent a shit ton of money. You didn't have to do that. You could have figured it out. And so, the conflict that arose there was very much a point of difference in point of view. I have a saying that people of integrity, and I would like to think I'm an integrous person. What I say to you that I will do, I will do. I operate above board. I like to be honest and transparent and make sure that people don't question my integrity. And so people of integrity expect to be believed, listen to me, but when they are not believed, they just allow time to prove them right. That's how confident I am. And the reason is life and business is very cyclic. It cycles. You see the behavior of an operator and you give advice and they either take it and you go, thank you, God, that he took that advice. And if they don't, why just sit back and watch the tragedy happen? Because there's no reinventing the wheel. There's nothing new under the sun. Geez, I'm getting off track. All right, conflict resolution. So it's important that we make sure that when we find ourselves in that high friction environment that is conflict, that we have a way and we understand whether we're too bullish. And I am like that. I mean, I am definitely bull in a china shop myself. I'm at some level, I'm a great communicator. Other levels, mate, the red mist descends. We have a saying in motorsport, the red mist descends. And then you're like a charging bull. And unfortunately, that's how God made me. And I've got to regulate that all the time. And so, there's a level of self-awareness that I have to execute. I do a lot of this in traffic. And, when I'm by myself, my self-talk is Max, just regulate. I regulate. Because it's not worth it. I know this because if I've done something that I've regretted, there is that week of remorse where you feel like a dickhead, okay? And so, if we have experienced conflict and we haven't resolved it the best way, and we can be honest. So an introspective view. We can use honest self-awareness to go, you know what, in hindsight, I think I could have handled that better. And here's the kicker. I want you to think about this. I want this as another takeaway. The reason why we have that level of, we look back, have you ever done it? Let me ask you, have you ever done something in the heat of the battle and then later on regretted it and asked yourself, why did I do that? Here's the answer. Because when your emotion goes up, your ability to make decisions goes down. Ability to make good decisions goes down. You make decisions, but they are not good decisions, trust me. Oh my gosh. Pretty I don't have a highlight reel. I could show you some really crazy shit. But you understand what I'm saying? When the emotion goes up, your ability to make good decisions goes down. And that's why later, when you are cool, calm, and collected and relaxed and you're not emotional, all of a sudden now you're clear. You start to think about things a lot more clearly. And so that's why I say to myself, Max, regulate, just think about this, stay cool. Staying cool means remove the emotion because my ability to make good decisions goes up. I think about the long term. I slow it all down. One of my favorite recent sayings is we've got to slow it down to go fast. And I'm really loving the implications that's having on the business. Right. Holy smokes. Okay. Point number 6, I'm going to be really quick. Risk management. I think when we've got to know ourselves and what is our appetite for risk. I think when we are wanting to develop a business and we have a very overrated or overstated view perhaps of the marketplace and we're not really conservative, I think we tend to maybe extend. I'll tell you who didn't manage risk really well, and that was a fellow by the name of Adolf Hitler in World War II. And he went to the Western Front in the early part of winter, and then his boys got so far and winter hit big time. And he ran out of diesel, ran out of food and warm clothes. And the boys literally left the tanks there and started marching back towards Germany. It was a bad day for old Adolf. And so, this is why when we get all tunnel vision and googly-eyed on, I'm going to build a, $10 million business this year, all of a sudden, because we lack that self-awareness, because we just, for some reason, we come up with that magic plan and we're going to go and borrow a bunch of money and employ a bunch of people and buy a bunch of equipment. All of a sudden, we've made some really bad decisions that are going to hamstring our ability to grow the business because we didn't assess the risk at an appropriate level. So that's risk management. Number 7 is team building. Good, honest self-awareness will make us better team builders. I think that humans, in the attraction stage of, if I'm looking for a team member, through the assessment of the team members, the onboarding, the initial training, and then the ongoing training, and the retention, because you don't want to get these good guys in and then lose them. I know of one individual recently that got headhunted by another company, and they offered him double what his package was. So today he's a pretty happy camper. Okay, team building, super important. Good, honest self-awareness. Are you a team leader? Like, let's get real. Like, maybe you are not. Maybe you're a guy or girl and an apprentice that you just do one job at a time. You spend 4 days on the tools and 1 day meeting clients, and you spend a Saturday morning doing quotes, and you figure out on weeknights when you can do a little bit more work to fill in the gaps, and that's you. Because you are not the person that's going to, employ high-level management and run a large team. Honest self-awareness, lay in bed and just go, how would I feel right now if my business overheads was $45,000 a month, $500,000 a year or more? So, guys and girls, this is honest self-awareness. You just got a lot of introspective thought process about you as a human. Because ultimately the goal is we're going to build a business so you can have the lifestyle you want. But if you're chained to a friggin' wheel that is depressing you or that stresses you and you're going grey-haired, the mullet's coming back too, folks. Side note, just thought I'll throw that in there. Oh, crikey. If you're not the individual, and I can't remember where I was up to because I got lost in the mullet, but if you are not the individual that is going to be able to, we build that business to give you the lifestyle. If you don't get the lifestyle, then you're not happy, and the whole reason you built the business is skewed. It's not even close to what it was or what it should be. Okay. And so this is why we've got to have self-awareness, as a team builder. Do we like to adapt, or are we trying? So here's point number 8, last one. Okay. How honest self-awareness will help us to adapt. I think we need to sometimes, for me, being very confident with certain softwares, the minute that I've got to go to another software and adapt, I tend to put the brakes on. I know I'm probably the only one in the room that likes to do that. However, what I do know about me, and so here's the introspective assessment of self, which, is not easy to do, and I still need other people to talk to me. I love getting counsel from other people that I trust, okay? But there's a certain level of adaptability. Like moving to Canada from Australia as a 42-year-old middle-aged man is not something that every puppy does, especially with the wife and 6 kids, okay? So I literally was contemplating the move and everything that was to do with the move. It literally took me 3 years to decide. I am a very late adopter when it comes to making big decisions. Here's another one for you. I've always been a PC guy, but I kind of do. I don't know if I could go across to a Samsung or a Google phone or anything like that. I kind of like my Apple iPhone. But my view towards the Apple Mac or the MacBook Pro or whatever the hell it is has always been, I'm not changing. But just recently I felt myself make a little decision internally. I thought, I wonder if it would be good to have an Apple, laptop, because my laptop is about 7 years old. So I put new batteries in it. I put solid state drives in it. And it's, I'm literally just taping the thing together. So at some point, I would say in the next 2 years, I'm probably going to need to make a move. Now, am I going to go PC or am I going to go Mac? I am strongly considering going across to Mac because I just think it might be a better thing. So what I'm getting at is that, if you are self-aware, see, I understand that I don't make big changes quickly, and maybe you're the same. In some cases, you might not even make small changes quickly. And so that level of self-awareness will give you peace, because even though that it took me 3 years to decide to move my family to Canada, I felt when the time was right, I had to go. Now, there was a deadline because my eldest child was going to go into high school in Australia, and I thought, blow it, you want to go? All right, let's go. And so we made the move. But by then, I had given it a lot of thought. And so I think, honest self-awareness is going to give you the ability to adapt to certain situations and know the right direction you got to go, more than just kind of making an ad hoc or a shoot from the hip kind of decision. So in closing, folks, enhance your performance. Business performance, that is, folks. Okay, I'm not Dr. Phil. Don't be unconsciously incompetent. So in all of these areas, point number 1, honest self-awareness will help you or contribute to business success. You'll be able to make more accurate business decisions. You'll be more of an effective communicator. You will have a desire and you'll be hungry to continuously improve. Your effectiveness as a client relationship manager will improve and increase. Your ability to handle conflict will also increase and improve. You understanding yourself will give you a better understanding of appropriate risk management for you and your little ecosystem in your world. You will become a better team builder / leader, which is always a good thing. And it will empower you when it comes to adapting to situations that maybe weren't anticipated, and the way that you can collect your thoughts and go, all right, I'm going to consider this, but I'll make the decision when the feel of time's right. We don't want to procrastinate, but all of these things, the things I've outlined, the 8 points is where your life will improve as a business operator, and then it will knock on to your business as an overall improvement, is completely and simply off the back of honest self-awareness. That's how it contributes to your business success and help you to build a kick-ass business. So like and subscribe. If you're interested in talking to me about how business coaching can really, inject some success in and around your business life, be sure to hit me up on email, max@elitebusinessadvisory.com, or you can visit elitebusinessadvisory.com, hit the book a consultation button. You'll get to see my calendar and you can grab a spot for 30 minutes and we can have a chat about some strategy, some stuff going on in your business, and hopefully that would help. Don't forget, Business for Builders VIP. If you've listened this long, you're obviously a subcontractor or a builder or a general contractor, or maybe you're a first-year apprentice. Get across to there and and hit the join button if you're a good sort and you fit the group. I will let you in. Be on your best behavior, of course. And I think that is about all of the housekeeping that we've done. Go build a kick-ass business. Tell me about it on email. Leave it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.